here. If someone brought you here, drug you here, bribed you to get here, told you you'll find a woman if you get here, judging up all the hot ladies at Glow Church. Whether they forced you, I'm thankful that you're here. And you don't have to believe to belong. We're glad. We consider you family already. So get used to the hugs, get used to the high fives. We're going to love you right where you're at. You don't have to change for us. And so, whatever brought you here, thank you for coming. We know the sacrifice that it took for you to get here and for you to be here. And I'm glad to be here all the way from the States. Also, if you're a guest here, this is your first time here, make sure you come back next week. Pastor Joel's going to preach an amazing message. He's an amazing pastor, amazing communicator. And, I know I'm the guest speaker, but I'm going to be gone, but he's going to be here to help you walk through your steps and to help encourage your family and strengthen you. So make sure you get back here next weekend. And also, next conference, Glow Conference 2019. 19, okay? 19 people get it right. America, we talk right. No, I'm serious. 2019, make sure you come. Set some time aside. God does amazing things when you create space for Him. I really believe that. And He's going to do some great things here today. It's my custom to pray before I preach. If you can close your eyes and bow your head, I appreciate it. Father God, anoint my lips and declare your word. God, help me to speak in a relatable language that would transform us, that we would never be the same again, God. Help me to speak to the individual today, not just a broad message for a bunch of different people, but individually to our hearts today. God, I pray for those that don't know you as Lord and Savior. Maybe they feel disqualified, unworthy. Maybe they've done some things in their past that made them feel not good enough for you. Maybe, God, they've had questions as to why this happened or why that happened. Or God, maybe someone tried to introduce you to them, but it was in a religious way. God, I pray that whatever barrier that is before them that's preventing their relationship with you, that it would come down, and by the end of this message, they would receive you as Lord and Savior. And God, I pray for those of us who are Christians, followers of you, who've surrendered all to follow you. God, strengthen us, encourage us, equip us to help us to be light to the world. God, we thank you for what you're doing in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. And amen. Why don't you get up for the worship team? Amazing. Well, I think I got a message for us today. I'm going to start in the book of Matthew chapter 11, starting in verse 25. It's a very familiar passage if you've been in church for quite some time. If you haven't, I'm going to try to do my best to articulate it to you, to break it down. But the text goes like this, Matthew 11, 25 through 30. It says, "At that time, Jesus prayed this prayer, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, thank you for hiding these things from those who think themselves wise and clever, and for revealing them to the childlike. Yes, Father, it pleased you to do it this way." This is Jesus speaking, by the way. "My Father has entrusted everything to me, and no one truly knows the Son except the Father, and no one truly knows the Father except the Son, and those to whom the Son chooses to reveal him. Then Jesus said," and this is the famous part, "Come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy to bear, and the burden I give you is light." Now this is a broad statement that Jesus has given to general people. Normally when this verse is preached, it's in the context of a lost person, a sinner, someone far from God, that hey, this Jesus is offering you in exchange for your heaviness, he's going to give you something light. So if you're a sinner, if you've done something bad, if you've been living a crazy lifestyle, you can come and God He'll forgive you, He'll change you, He'll take your heavy burdens. But what I think that happens sometimes is those of us who are Christians, we fail to see that Jesus is still saying, just come bring your stuff. Like sometimes we assume that coming to the cross only happens when I'm really far from God and making the first steps. But once I get to know God, and I don't feel like I can come, I don't feel like He wants my heavy burdens anymore. That was just way back then. But this offer that Jesus is giving is for all of us. It's for all of us. What's amazing is as you continue to read in Scripture, it's almost like God was giving this big announcement from heaven that from the beginning of the Gospels in Matthew to the end of the New Testament in Revelation, there is this thing that God is shouting from heaven. And if we read it in Revelation chapter 22, it reads like this: the Holy Spirit and the bride say, "Come." Let the one who hears say, "Come." Let the one who is thirsty come. Let the ones who wants to drink the water of life drink it. It's a free gift. It's almost like God was saying, I'm going to give you the greatest invitation of all time, and it's simply this: just come. And this God is saying, hey, just come. I don't care what you've done. I love the verse because it says, come all of you who are heavy burdens. But it doesn't say how you got the heavy burden. It doesn't say, did you get a heavy burden because you did something stupid? It doesn't say, did you get a heavy burden because someone did something to you? It doesn't say, do you have a heavy burden because of choices you made? It doesn't say, do you have a heavy burden because of choices that other people made that have affected your life? It doesn't say, have you had a heavy burden just since you've been to church? It doesn't say, have you had a heavy burden since you were 13 or since yesterday? It just says, hey, if you have one, just go. I love this about our God because He's got this open invitation to all people. And so today, this is what I want to do. I know some of you may not know Jesus here today, and I'm going to preach a message. You're going to learn all about Him. But really what I want to talk to Christians. I want to talk to people who love Jesus, who have given things to Him at the cross. But I think sometimes we think that invitation stops the moment we said, Jesus, come into our heart.
That's good.
You know, it's interesting about the cross. The cross is a symbol of hope, and the cross is these two wooden beams that have made this distinct symbol of hope for those that are Christians. But what ends up happening is, if we're not careful, that cross looks more like a no trespassing sign than an invitation. Like, that's exactly why some of your friends don't come to church. They feel like the cross is a no trespassing symbol. It's like, if you're not good enough, you can't enter in. Like some of your friends might say, I'm not going to go to church because the building will burn down the moment that I step into it. Or if you baptize me, the water's just going to bubble because I'm so bad. You don't want me to go to the church all mess it up. And the truth is, if you're perfect, please leave because you're messing it up for all of us. Because none of us are perfect. We need a God that can help us unperfect people. And so I love this because the cross can appear to be this symbol of barrier, like you can't come. But from what the Scripture says, what Jesus said and what was spoken in Revelation through the Holy Spirit, I want you to know that the cross was never meant to be a boundary to keep people out, but was supposed to be an invitational piece to get people in. Like this God is shouting from heaven, just come. I don't care how you come. I don't care where you've been. I don't care what you've done. Just come. You hung over from last night? Just come. You got a problem with addiction? Just come. You got a problem with pornography? Just come. You've been divorced 4 times? Just come. You're living with your boyfriend, living with your girlfriend? Just come. You've been in church, haven't been in church since you was a kid? Just come. This Jesus doesn't care about where you've been and what you've done. He is simply shouting from heaven, if you're heavy burden, just come. You got a past that you're not proud of? Just come. We don't seem to understand this. So when I think about this, when he says heavy burden, what I picture is that it's almost like there's many of us, we don't want to admit it, but we have like a grand piano on our shoulders. And if I put a piano on my back, well, first of all, none of us is going to be able to carry it, but just bear with me. But if it's on my back, all this weight and pressure is on my shoulders, and it forces me, I can't move as fast, I'm not as agile, I'm not free to run, I can't run with it on my back. Matter of fact, I have a low self-esteem. I feel not good enough. I can't lift my eyes. I can't raise my shoulders. I can't put my chest out. I am overwhelmed heaviness, and it restricts my movement. I can't walk in my purpose like God wanted me to because I got this heaviness. It even causes us to not release the love that God gave us to release. So I can't love my spouse like I want to because I got this heaviness. I can't love my neighbor like God told me to love my neighbor. I got this heaviness. I can't work. I can't even lift my hands to worship in church. I just stand there. And it's not like I don't want God to do something. I'm just heavy.
Right.
I'm just heavy. And so sometimes we come to church and, all of a sudden we get all washed up. We feel good. We feel great. And then we go throughout the week. We do something stupid, say something stupid, think something stupid. And then we come back to church and all of a sudden the camera's back on your back. It's like I'm here, but I'm heavy. And what's interesting, when I started thinking about this, I started realizing that, when you first got saved, like you brought all your mess to God. Right? It's like everything. Like the stuff you didn't tell people, the stuff no one knew. It was like it's all coming to God. And in that moment, you felt forgiven for everything you've done. And everything you've done was probably a long list of everything you did. Things you did when you were 5, when you stole the bubble gum from the store, things you did, right? Like everything that you've done. And all of a sudden, what ends up happening if you're not careful, once you get saved, like you can believe that God can forgive you for everything that you've done, but then the moment you give your life to Jesus and you start living this thing out, 6 months later, a year later, you do something stupid. You look at a website you're not supposed to be looking at. You say something, you're flirting with a coworker and you're married. I probably shouldn't have done that. You made a dumb decision. You got mad, cussed somebody out, fought somebody. You were depressed, so you went back to your alcohol and just got drunk, and your friends called you up for the reunion, and the friends said, hey, let's go out, it's holiday, let's party, it's Australia Day, let's go have a good time. And so you go have a good time, but that's not what I'm supposed to do. And then all of a sudden you come back to church, and here's what we think, God ain't gonna forgive me now. Which is so backwards, because God forgave you of all that stuff. You mean to tell me He's not going to forgive you for the one thing that you do now? And let me tell you something. As much as you think that as you come to church and give your life to Jesus, that all of a sudden magically you're not going to think any perverted thoughts, you're not going to think any anger, you're not going to have any desires, that you're not going to be horny ever again, you're not going to want to get drunk ever again. Can you say horny in church? I do. We say it in America all the time. You're not going to mess up. You're not going to make a dumb decision. You're not going to do it wrong. Like some of you have bought the lie that the moment I gave my life to Jesus, that from that moment on, I'm supposed to be perfect, and if I'm not perfect, God's mad at me. Let me break the news to you. You're going to continue to miss the mark. That is why we need Jesus.
That's it.
And He is going to finish the work that He started in us. You're going to mess up. We pursue holiness. We pursue righteousness. We want to please God with our life, but even in our best effort, Paul says, I do the things I don't want to do and don't do the things I want to do. Which means you're going to make mistakes, which is why Jesus said this, hey look, are you heavy burden? You tired? You wore out? Just come. It's an extravagant love. It's a ridiculous love. Can I tell you what this love does? That this love does, it invites you to some things. Like this love, I'm going to give you 3 things and we're going to get out of here. But this love, it invites some things. This love invites our sin. It invites it. Like Jesus says, just give it to me. And once again, it's easy when I say this conversation, when you don't know Jesus, you're like, oh, thank you, Jesus, you invite my sin. Yes, absolutely. If you don't know Jesus, He absolutely said, hey, give me your sin. I'm talking to Christians. I'm talking to Christians that don't want to admit they have any sin. I'm talking to Christians who feel defeated when they walk into the building because of sin they keep struggling with, that they don't want anyone to know because I'm a glow team member that they knew. And what I'm telling you is God knows. Like He was in the bedroom. He was at the place. He saw the website. You can delete your search by some of you, it becomes a heavy burden. When I was 16, I went to a small church in our community, and I didn't radically give my life to God, but I was learning to fall in love with Him. I didn't have no clue what it was going to look like or what it meant, but I just had this idea that as a Christian, you're not supposed to do stupid stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm going to not do stupid stuff. Like continue getting high and continue getting drunk and continue to have sex. I'm just going to, God doesn't like that, so I'm not going to do that. And one day, I had been going to church maybe like 2 months. I've been doing good, going strong. Like, hadn't get drunk, hadn't had sex, I was doing good. And I'm 16 years old. And my cousin calls me, he says, hey, Micahn. He's like, hey, I'm going to this party, and I need you to come. I'm like, I'm not going to the party. And he's like, no, you don't understand. I need you to be my designated driver. I'm like, designated driver? I'm like, no, I'm good. He's like, Jesus would want you to be my designated driver. And I thought about it. You're right. He would want me to be your designated driver. By the way, he didn't want me to be the designated driver. So I ended up going to this party, and all these people that I normally get drunk with, they're all there, and they're having the time of their life, and they're getting unlimited refills of their cups with alcohol, and they're doing their stuff, and I'm just leaned up against the wall, and people are like, you want something to drink? I'm like, nah, I'm good. You want something to drink? No, I'm good. 1 hour goes by. You want anything to drink? No. Hour and a half goes by. I'll take a sip. I'll take just a sip. Just a sip. Like a wine tasting or something. I'll take a sip. Sip turned into a cup turned into 17. Now we both need designated drivers. And I remember getting back in the car, and I didn't drive, someone drove us home. But I remember after the whole party was over, I was drunk beyond I could even recall. I remember getting home, and I walked into my bathroom, and I remember looking right into the mirror, and I began to cry. And all of a sudden, in that moment, I got sober. It wasn't like I was having a drunk cry. It wasn't like drunk cry. This was like a real God moment in my bathroom cry. And so I'm crying in my bathroom, and I look myself in the mirror, and I say, God, I'm never going back to church again. Because I can't live this for you. I can't do it. I tried really hard, God. I tried really hard to not. I'm thankful for you, and I wanted to, but I can't do this. Right there, the enemy made me believe the lie that I was not good enough to come back to the cross. And so from the age of 16 to 20, I spent that time diving deeper into my sin, trying to suffocate the pain that I was feeling with more alcohol, more drugs, more women, more things, feeling empty over and over again. And it wasn't until I radically got saved in 1999 that I realized that God was asking for my sin the whole time. Yeah. Some of you, you've got the piano on your back. You may not have been like me and say, I'm never coming back to church because I can't get it right, but I'm not going to serve at the same level because I can't get it right. I'm not going to worship like I used to because I can't get it right. Because last night when my family was asleep, I was on my phone looking at stuff I shouldn't have been looking at, and here I am in church, and can't get it right. This Jesus, this love of God, He invites our sin. The second thing He does is this love, this cross, this symbol of hope that just come response from God. He doesn't just invite your sin, He invites your shame. Your shame is different than sin, because sin is the act that we participated in, but shame is the aftermath that we live with once the sin is over. And some of you have done a good job by saying, God, here's my sin, take my sin, I did it, I'm sorry, but you've lived X amount of days, X amount of years with shame for what you did. There's some of you that still feel the shame of the experience that you had when you were 15. You still feel the shame of that one time when you were at that slumber party or that sleepover and you had physical contact with the same sex. You still feel the shame of what happened in your past. You still feel the shame of the decisions that you made. There's some things that none of us know about you that you've been hiding that. You're Christian, you love Jesus, you asked for forgiveness and He forgave you, but you're carrying the shame, the residue. So you can't worship like you want to. You can't step into your calling like you want to. It's not that you don't believe you're forgiven, you just don't feel like you're good enough. It's shame. Yeah, I was the one that cheated in the divorce, and I'm the one that wrecked the marriage, and so there's no way someone else will ever love me, so I'm not even going to take another step. Yeah, I used to be involved in church, but then all of a sudden I got around the wrong crowd and started going back to my old ways and did that stuff. But I'm back now. God's forgave me. I'm back now. But my level of involvement isn't the same. It's not that God wouldn't still use you now. It's just you don't feel like you would because you carry shame. This Jesus. What's interesting is God says, He says when He takes your sin, He says He casts it as far as the east is from the west into the sea of forgiveness, which means this: when you say God forgive me, God forgot. The things you keep, the enemy keeps reminding you of that you did. God's like, what are you talking about? Like how you feel like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I looked at that. God's like, what did you look at? I don't even remember you looking at anything. I can't believe that I had sex in those one night stands. What one night stand? I don't know what one night stand you're talking about. I forgot all about that. Oh God, that abortion that I had. What abortion? I don't remember the abortion. When you asked for forgiveness, I moved as far as the east is to the west is to the sea of forgiveness. So you don't have to carry the shame anymore. Because you've been set free. All guilt, all shame, all condemnation. It got nailed to the cross, and you have been risen in new creation. Some of you are like, you don't understand, Pastor, what I've been through. And God's like, I know exactly what you've been through, but when I died that gruesome death, that I was not guilty of those crimes, all shame. Some of you have been carrying the shame, you've been carrying the shame, It's affected your family, it's affected your faith, it's affected your future, and God simply says, hey look, put your shame at the cross. You're forgiven, you love Jesus, but your movement is restricted because you got something heavy that you were never meant to carry. It's love, it's just come invitation. Just doesn't invite our sin, it doesn't invite our shame, it invites something else that we don't talk about too much, but I want to talk about it today. He invites your sorrow. Your sorrow. Some of you aren't struggling with sin. Some of you aren't struggling with shame. Some of you are just struggling with sorrow. You and your spouse have been trying to get pregnant. You finally got pregnant, then 12 weeks in, you had a miscarriage. And you're like, God, I don't understand. We've been faithful to you. We did it the right way. We waited to have sex till we got married. It's like sometimes life just takes the wind right out of you. It's sorrow. Sometimes like, I don't understand why my cousin died of cancer. I prayed for them. I asked for you to heal him, God. Did I not have enough faith? Did I not believe enough? I don't understand. I prayed for them. We laid hands on them. I took it. I covered it in prayer every night when we came to church. And I don't understand why. Why did my mom die? Why did my spouse die? We loved you. We served the church. I don't understand now why I have to live this life by myself. I used to be able to hold his hand. I used to be able to hold her hand, but she's not here anymore. And it's sorrow. You didn't know that when you showed up that one day when you walked into the house, that your spouse was going to look you in the eye and say, I'm leaving you. I can't take this marriage anymore. You never thought that after 16 years, after 8 years, after raising kids, that one day your life was going to amount to this divorce. It wasn't what you dreamt when you stood face to face and said, till death do us part. It wasn't what you imagined when you thought about this life that God would have for you. But sometimes trials and that they got. Sorrow. Some of you parents are in here today and you're like, God, we raised our kids in your house. We brought them to your church. We had them here. We had them in the children's church, and we kept them in the presence of the Lord. And now I don't understand my daughter that she's sleeping around with these boys. She's only 15. God, why is she doing this? Why is my son high? And I notice I found the drug. I don't understand. Why is he living like that? That's not what we prayed about. When we dedicated them to God, we thought that one day they would raise up to be a mighty warrior in the things of God. We never imagined that. We served the church faithfully. Why did my son go through that? It's called sorrow. There are moments in our life where sometimes life just is. Jesus still gives the invitation. You know that when you picked up the phone, you didn't know that you'd find your spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend having text messages to another person telling them how much they love them, how much they want to be with them. And you thought you were the only one, but something was. Why did I get touched as a little girl, God? I didn't expect a babysitter. Why do I have to carry this? I didn't expect to give a lesson as a kid. I was just a boy, and they took advantage of me. It's sorrow. And as Jesus says, you heavy? Is the burden heavy? I'll take it. You know, my life as a pastor, it hasn't always been easy, and sometimes you assume that people who get up here with a microphone, their life is all put together. We don't ever experience pain. We don't ever sin. We don't ever do stupid stuff. We don't ever get hit with life. But when I was getting ready to take over the church that I pastor now 12 years ago, me and my wife, we got pregnant with twins, and we were super excited. We went to the first ultrasound. It was a big one and a small one. We called it Tiny and Tubby. That's what we named it. And we went there and could hear the heartbeats. And one of the heartbeat was a little bit less. I knew it was kind of strange. I looked at the doctors. The doctors that normal, they're like, well, typically one twin always dominates the other, but we need to look at this. We're going to bring you back for another ultrasound in a couple weeks. And I remember we were in the bathroom. My wife was taking a bath, and I was praying for her. We were just talking about our baby. I was like, baby, you know, whatever God has for us, we're just going to trust Him. In my mind, I thought, it's possible that the one with a slow heartbeat might not make it. So we went to the ultrasound the next day, and I'm a barber by trade, so I was cutting hair at our barber shop. And I remember finishing up a haircut so I could rush out to the doctor's office, and I got there maybe 5 minutes past when the official consultation was supposed to happen. As I was walking in, my wife was running out. She was hysterically crying. I was like, what happened? What happened? And she was like, we lost the babies. We lost the babies. We lost the babies. And that day we found out that both twins didn't make it, that she was miscarried, that they weren't going to make it. And that was on Friday. That Sunday would be the first message that I would preach in the church that I pastored. And I remember thinking, God, I don't understand. We prayed for this baby. We fasted for these babies. I've served you faithfully, God. Why would you let this happen to me? And then I had to remind myself that God works everything together for my good. Every blessing that He pours out is for my glory, for His glory and my good. Every tragedy that He allows is for His glory and my good. And I got up on that stage and I remember saying, my God is still God. And my God is still good. And I wasn't going to let a circumstance hit me. And I would love to be able to say that was the end of it, but I didn't share this in the last service. I didn't have enough time, but I thought it would be, for some of you parents out there, might be beneficial for you to hear this. I raised my kids in the church, and they love it, and they've had a great time. My oldest son, when he got into high school, he started struggling with trying to figure out who he was, and trying to figure out, was he going to be fully God or be like the culture. I'll never forget, one day we came home, we were talking to him, and it was we just noticed something was off, something wasn't the same, something wasn't right. My son had never had a girlfriend. He just didn't show any interest, wasn't really allowed to at the time. He knew the standards of our house, and he had never had a girlfriend, never had kissed a girl. And something was off, and we talked to him, and I remember sitting there, and he began to confess that he had just lost his virginity. And to this girl that he knew from school. And I remember just feeling crushed, because my whole life, up to being a Christian, and even as I've been a Christian, I've struggled with pornography, I've struggled with lust. So I told myself, God, never let that hit my kids. When he told me to get my wife, we went up to our balcony, we were sitting outside, and we didn't want the other two kids to hear what was going on. And she was sitting there and I remember just feeling like a failure, like what did I not do for my son to do that? I felt like, man, I must be a terrible pastor. I must be a terrible parent. I must not know what I'm preaching. I must not know what I'm able to do. It was like sorrow just gripped my home. I didn't talk to him for at least 4 days. Like, for 4 days, I'd walk into the house. I wouldn't say anything to him. He didn't say anything to me. It was like this awkward silence. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to respond. But after 4 days, I said, I'm not going to let the devil get the best of me. And I said, son, who are you? And he told me, he says, Dad, he goes, I'm a liar. I'm filled with lust. I'm this. I'm a deceiver. I'm this. I'm that. I said, son, I know that's who you think you are. But let me tell you who you are. You are pure. You are holy. You are forgiven. You are worth it. You are not a lost cause. You are not a reject. God's hand is still on your life. And I don't care what you've done, son. We're going to take that to the cross of Jesus, and we're going to lay it at his feet. We're not going to walk in sorrow. We're not going to walk in shame. If I can't believe this grace message for my own, then I might as well stop preaching it. I'm here to tell you today that son of mine is now in Bible college studying to be a pastor. Everything the enemy meant for bad, a lot of God turns it around and uses it for my good. Everyone standing to your feet. Everyone standing to your feet. So here's what I want to let you know. Not just invite your sin, invite your shame, invite your sorrow. I don't care if you're a Christian or not a Christian. There is room for you at the cross. The greatest invitation ever given was through our Lord and Savior to that blood-stained cross. You're tired, you're heavy, you're burdened. He wants it. Every eye closed, every head bowed. First and foremost, if you're here today and you say, Pastor, I'm not a Christian, Jesus is not my Lord and Savior. Maybe you felt like he wouldn't accept you, he wouldn't take you after all you've done. Maybe you felt like you weren't good enough. Maybe you felt like you couldn't come to him. Maybe you got introduced to him and you thought he was angry at you. That's not our Jesus. And if you're here today and you say, Pastor, will you pray for me? Because today I want to surrender my life to Jesus. I want to give him all that I am. I'm going to ask you right now, with your eye closed and every head bowed, I'm just going to ask you to slip your hand in the air right now, all across the auditorium. We're saying, today's my day, I'm going to surrender. Your hands are going up. Anybody else? Your hands are going up. Absolutely. Anybody else? In the balcony. Yep, I see you up there in the balcony with your hand up. Yeah, I see you in the back row. I see you over here on my right. Anybody else, you're saying this to me, this is my time. I'm not going to hold on to this anymore. I know I'm not perfect, but if Jesus will take me, I'd gladly lay my life at his feet. There's another one over here, yeah. Thank you, Jesus. I'm going to put your hands down. Let me pray for you. Father God, I pray for every single person who lifted their hand. Do a mighty work in and through their life. Let today start a new beginning and a fresh start. In Jesus' name. The Bible says that we confess with our mouth and believe in our heart, we'll be saved. So I'm going to lead us into a prayer. I'm going to ask everyone to pray, especially the ones who raise their hand to give their life to Jesus. Repeat this after me. Say, Dear Jesus, come into my heart. Forgive me my sins. Help me to live for you and to love you all the days of my life. Today I'm new. Today I'm changed. Today I'm forgiven. Today I'm free. And secondly, maybe you're here today, and if you're honest, you would say, you know, Pastor, I love Jesus. I'm a Christian. Maybe you've been holding on to some secret sin. Or maybe you've been holding on to some shame. You ask God to forgive you for the sin, but lately you've just been walking with the shame. Or maybe you don't struggle with the sin, or maybe you don't struggle with the shame, but you've been carrying sorrow. If you're here today and one of those three things you're struggling with, you're dealing with, and you're saying, Pastor, I can't carry this anymore. I need to lay it at Jesus' feet. If that's you, one of those three things, just lift both hands in the air. Put them up high, put them up high, put them up high, put them up high. Yeah. I'm not going to carry this shame anymore. I'm not going to carry this sorrow anymore. I'm not going to struggle with this sin anymore. I'm going to lay it at Jesus' feet. I know I'm not perfect, but it's time. Father God, I pray for every hand that's risen, every hand that's lifted up. God, I pray that you would give recovery. God, I pray that you would strengthen. And I pray that the door of escape would be wide. God, I pray that they wouldn't struggle with sorrow any longer, that joy, unspeakable joy would come in. God, I pray that all shame, all guilt, all condemnation would be lifted off of their life. And God, I pray that who the Son sets free is free indeed. So God, we look to you and we thank you for all that